What's up, guys? My name is David, and I'll be reviewing another Shopify store for today. This is gonna be SocialWorkKey.co.uk, and it seems like he started a Shopify a few months ago, already ran some ads, and has just a few questions, would like some feedback. So that's what I'm here to do. This is why this video is live, and I'll just be trying to provide my honest feedback on the website, right? So I already saw the store and had few pointers, so this is not going to be like completely first impression. This one you can essentially try to fix with the paddings, as you can see. So like margin and padding is 55 pixels, as it states here, right? So for example, if we would remove this, I believe, or this one, that does increase it, and let's say you go 55 pixels, so you just need to play around with the settings around here, right? So that's essentially gonna be on the padding bottom. So let's see if you would do like 85 pixels or so. Okay, so that's invalid, right? But something similar to that, so you're actually gonna need to play with CSS in order to just remove that, but obviously it's doable even in Shopify. But let's just move on and see the products, right? Seems like you have 6 products, which is decent. Let me just quickly open those up in order for later to go through. And you have search, which for the first one, I don't think it should be here, right? Because you have all the products listed here, so I'm not really sure if you would like to have another search button, because it's relatively easy for a person to, well, essentially not find anything and just quit out of the web page after that. I like a home button here, for example, right? So either home or just go to top, something similar to that. It often tends to be similar to the main menu bars. And you also have Facebook and Twitter, which we're gonna look into. Privacy policy, terms and conditions, return policy, and contact us. That seems to be your page or so. Another quick pointer that I had would be like these freebies and useful resources. I saw that you're essentially linking to blog, right? So you can do like free resources around here, and that would sort of tidy up a lot of this, right? Because that's a really long name for one button. Or you can even do our blog, for example. So in that case, it would be home, our story, our blog, our product, right? Or even switching those two up. So if you find that blog is more important to you, or if you keep it active, maintained, sorry, this is not how it's supposed to be, but you essentially get the point. Switch those out. But even now, I think the menu looks a lot cleaner. There's not that many things. Another thing that I would like to touch up upon is, so you have your image here, right? And then this inner hero page is also your image. In my opinion, you would need some sort of banner designed, whether that's like product or some sort of benefits, maybe even linking to your blog. As I stumbled upon that, you actually have some decent articles, etc., already linked out. So any of these actually would do better, right? So even if you would say like this one could say check out our blog or check out our newest free resources, something similar to that. So then you can just tidy up this one and have it link to your blog once again, right? So that's for the home page, in my opinion. Not much else to touch upon. Also, I guess if you're running e-commerce, you would want to have these like trust symbols or trust signs. so that you can pay with Visa, PayPal, etc., etc. Something similar to that. But I don't really have a lot of pointers anymore for the homepage, so let's go through these. This is relatively small page, product page, and I guess the first thing is I don't really think you need this one. So tax included, how is this a benefit, right? Conversational cubes, maybe you would like to do something more enticing, so start any conversation with these cubes, let's say that, and that's a little bit better to fill in, right? If you actually bought these, you might want to have more product pages, or essentially listing out all the options, what's on there, for example. That would increase your description page. It would give a customer more information on what he's actually buying. And another thing is, for example, if I'm just stumbling upon this page, I'm not really seeing anything in regards to shipping on how do I get this. Is it free? Is it to pay for? How long it's gonna be, right? And maybe you listed these in here, which we'll cover later, but that's just my initial impression of a product page. For example, this one, conversational cubes. Moving on to the inner strength cards. This has a little bit more product pictures, but description is relatively small once again. An interesting thing that I found, so you can actually copy this or just even search Google for these images. Actually, what I did is go to inner strength cards, and I essentially found one of your competitors per se, right? So one of them is Amazon, obviously. And this one, I believe I looked into, and that's actually great, dude. So you're already on Google, which is awesome. That means that your website is relatively strong in terms of SEO. With little bit more work, with little bit more of a description, think of it that way. If you can provide more value to a customer, for example, then you can just get on top of this particular page or even this one. Which would hopefully increase your just SEO as well as natural visitors. So for the Amazon's webpage, it seems like the price actually is same, which is decent. And they have this picture as well, I guess, but that might be, yeah, that's for a different product. This has a description which is, I guess, even better than your, or not necessarily better, sorry, but more, just more information for the customer entirely, right? So these namespaces, this is obviously just for example, never do that, this is plagiarizing, but if you would give something similar to this, be motivated, set up your goals, etc., I guess that would give more information to a customer. So 55 cards, I guess that's the same product, right? And remove that. So also what you're lacking on is customer reviews, I think. That's a big and important part of just buying anything online. You want to feel that you also see like customer feedback, people who actually used it feedback. So there's obviously plugins to do so in Shopify, even free ones, which you can go ahead and use, right? And well, for this particular product, that's gonna be all that I guess I can say. Oh, right, another thing to touch up on. Yeah, so this one, right? This is similar page. This is, you can consider this your essentially competitor at this point. You're selling it at the same price, and honestly, I like his product page picture a lot better. It's a lot more enticing, says a lot more than this. So this does not really define what I'm buying in a sense. Whereas this one sort of does, right? Just think of these things. just going deleting CSS from all of these. Obviously, no one needs to know their SKU. So for this one, what I would actually do is this, and then it would be like full width, right? But that's besides the point. And then I guess the page looks a lot better. You have add to cart, you have small description, there's reviews that I talked about, but that doesn't really matter at this point. Yeah, and the description is obviously, he put in a lot more time into the description than you did, which is fine. You can just obviously continue on and fix those things, in my opinion. Let's see the other products, right? Once again, this is just very undescriptive, I guess I could say. So let's say I'm adding it to cart, right? So you have all the payment options, which is good. And this, I'm assuming, is gonna be just default checkout for the Shopify, right? Yeah. See, you already have ways to use it for this particular product, which is good. So please, guy, work on your product descriptions. It's essentially a big part of e-commerce because despite what you think, people that actually buy these things, they want to know about the product, obviously, before they put in their credit card and wait for something, right? It's not just like analytics or data or traffic, visitors, numbers, but it's actually human beings, so don't forget that. And so it seems like you're doing better all throughout the video, and as I put in the products, as I just go through the products, you have a bigger description here. Hopefully that's written by you, not just copy pasted from AliExpress. And not a lot much to cover. I guess I'm sort of out of ideas at this point in regards on what could be improved. Let's just quickly go through your Facebook, which is also very good. You have like 300 people, and you seem to be posting relatively frequently, right? Which is once again really good. Keep it active, just stay consistent, and you actually can build a following. And at that point, it's a lot easier to introduce new products to your customer base, etc. So stay at it and keep consistent on Facebook as well as Twitter, I'm assuming. Not really sure about the target audience for this one, but I'm sure that you can find somehow like social workers, right? Let's see if that's even possible. Is there anyone? Yeah, so slash hashtag social workers rule. What I would advise you to do is just go through this hashtag, for example, and this is definitely gonna be your target audience, right? So interact with them, like their comments, provide something useful. You can even say that let's say, have a blog post or some free resources to expand upon. Do not spam people with your product page and product link. Actually engage into a meaningful conversation, and if they stumble upon your page, if they become a follower, that's actually 10 times better than you getting like $5 out of one purchase, right? And I guess what else I have to cover is just the TOSs and everything else regarding this. So this one seems like a relatively decent one. Well-written privacy policy. It's essentially a template from Shopify, right? And TOSs, once again, it seems to be the general template. What I'm looking for is just some inconsistencies that I can find with another set of eyes. So whether that would sometimes I find like insert X and Y here, right? But you actually did a really good job regarding this, and you have an email address. Admin, maybe you shouldn't contact admin. You can create like a hello or support. For example, support@socialworkerkeys.co.uk would be like a decent one, right? But that's really just nitpicking, and everything seems to be fine in this case. 14 days refund policy, right? That's interesting. You might want to double check that because I believe AliExpress offers 30-day refund policy, and in this case you can match that up just to make sure, because I believe these particular products take a lot of time to be shipped. So within 14 days, if someone asks for a refund, you're sort of inclined to just give them without even knowing if the product reaches their destination or not, if there's something with your supplier, etc. And contact us. I really like this one. A lot of contact us pages that I've encountered is just generic Shopify contact form. You actually do have quite decent one where customers can essentially either like your page or engage into a conversation with you. That's really good. And for the last thing to cover, mostly same comments for this one, right? Uh, Not much else to add. So, SocialWorkKey, I really like your store, and hopefully you found this helpful, interesting. If you did, uh, actually, this seems to be ongoing for 16 minutes. I really don't care. I'll just be uploading this live, and if you found this helpful, please don't hesitate to let me know. Contact me and comment down below, and we can talk about any of these points further. Uh, Thank you so much if you managed to get to the end of the video, and have a good one. Peace, guys.